If I don't trust the leaders I have in place, I need to remove them. When I do trust the leaders I have in place, I need to support them, not interfere with them. Where I see family businesses struggle is somebody always wants to have an opinion about what the decision the other person made. It's like, I want to be in charge. You're not going to be in charge. I'm going to have an opinion when you do anything. Don't do anything unless I agree to it. You just understand that everyone in the business is paralyzed if that's how the business is being run.
It's the gas and the brakes at the same time.
And then you watch one family member talk shit about the other family member, or the spouse talking shit about the spouse. Look, as soon as you undermine your spouse, that team, just like little kids, they own you. They got you. So you have to edify and exemplify and be aligned with your spouse in business, or with your brother or your sister or your father or your uncle. Because the moment you're not, it opens up the super highway for everyone else to take advantage of you. You guys understand that? Because only a fool would think that if our team sees that we're not aligned, or we're talking crap or undermining each other, that somehow they're not gonna look at that and go, man, this creates a huge opportunity for us to manipulate what we want. Only a fool would believe that's not the case. So as soon as you expose a weakness to anybody on the team, there will be somebody on the team that will take advantage of your weakness.
So on that, one of my questions was, what are things that you might suggest to clarify who takes which roles and responsibilities in the business?
Well, I mean, we have job description at the company. Natalie's the president of the company. The president of the company has a job description, states what her roles and responsibilities are. I'm the CEO of the company, and just like every executive, ultimately, I'm the one that's responsible for all the executives. I also have the experience. Now, I don't want to do her job, and I'm not as good at it, and I implicitly trust her. So I don't have to get involved, and she has the meetings with the other executives because we're aligned. We know what our targets are. The best thing that we do is we set our targets every year. We set our policies, and she's responsible for them.
Early on, though, I wanted to do the same things that he was doing.
Yeah, that's when we had conflict. Like,
he's doing seem like more exciting than the things that I'm doing. A little bit, not a lot.
You could have stayed and smoked cigars with us last night. You didn't choose to.
No, that's not my.
Visionary hangs out with their people.
But sometimes people in business, they get those lines crossed where, like, one of my rules is we're likely not showing up in the same meeting together on like a Zoom call. Like, he's showing up as Brandon in his lane, I'm showing up as Natalie in my lane. The president has a different function in a meeting than a CEO has. And it's not because you're together or because you're family that you are showing up to that meeting. It's because you have a very specific purpose. You have a very specific role in that meeting. If you're not fulfilling that role, then you're doing the entire team a disservice.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. Like, as the CEO, I'm responsible for strategy. I'm also responsible for overall leadership in the company. Well, if I don't trust the leaders I have in place, I need to remove them. When I do trust the leaders I have in place, I need to support them, not interfere with them. Well, she's a leader in the company. Now, she's my wife, but she's also a leader in the company. Now, as my wife, and as the second largest shareholder of the company outside of Grant and I, she has the single largest incentives to make sure our business works. So I respect, and that's an asset to me. See, a lot of you are husband and wives, and you might even share the equity and you stomp all over each other. It's a huge asset to know I got a partner, a business partner, and a partner who's my spouse to look after the business and make good decisions. Like, that's an unbelievable asset.
And most people walk into it so rosy, thinking that like it's automatically gonna work out. Like, we were very clear as to how much equity Brandon has versus how much equity I have based on our contribution to the business. If you're not willing to confront that, this is what we're talking about. Your ability to confront difficult conversations plays everything in your business, because if you are walking into a situation where there isn't that clarity, you're gonna continue to stomp on each other's feet. You're gonna continue to not know who's making which decisions and who's responsible for what is gonna be really murky for you. Instead of clearly stating these are your responsibilities. If you're not doing these things though, what does that look like? And when you can confront that and have those difficult conversations on the front end, at least no one's confused.